let's go in and go in. Okay, so that didn't really like it there. Let's go in and start that one more time, and then we can actually see if we can actually get it. So while that's restarting here, let me actually show you how to actually refresh the cache with the Spring Plate Connect. So you saw there that when I originally actually went in and let's go into here. When I originally went in and I clicked on the service, the second time that I kind of got those owner services there, it was pretty quick because I've actually got a cache running there. But you can evict the cache. So you can see here, there's get mapping, clear cache, and I can actually go cache evict owners. And then I can just go forward to an HTTP status and clear all cache. Now this is a little bit hairy here because it basically means that if you have a cache, it's going to go in and it's going to delete, if you see here, that little cache there. So that little simple key should be actually blank. So we're going to do this live on air, and I've got a little script that we're going to run. And we're going to go to our local host, clear cache, and we're going to go see if we can clear the cache and exactly what that does, because it's going to retrieve the cache there and it's going to go see if we can actually do it. Let's make sure that we are started here, and we can go down here. And if not, then we can go into, wow, okay, that did not work. Let's actually go back in, and I'll run this on a different demo here. So obviously it's not too happy here. Maybe it's because there is load shedding and there is the services that it's not running here. Let's try one more time there with the customer service. Else I'm going to actually just move on to our tooling demo after that, though. So let's go through that. And let's see.
The best part of a live show, Rory, is
yeah, it's always, people want you to achieve the success, but a lot of people are actually going, can he actually get it working here? So once you have that working, then you're actually going to go sync. And remember, this is a microservice application, so a lot of things can actually work well. But you can actually go in there and you're going to go clear cache. So customer owners, clear cache. It's going to go and refresh your cache, and then the actual owners are going to be populated again. And we're going to do that. So let's see if we can actually come back to that a little bit later then. And I'm going to actually start with our tooling demo, which is also really exciting because I've got a new extension I'm going to show with IntelliJ, which is brand new. I don't know if you are aware of it, Mark, but IntelliJ can now do Cosmos DB. Let's go in there. So it's still misbehaving, but we'll go and let's just stop all of those services there, and we can just actually go in and say stop you all violently, and we can actually go in and see that a little bit later.
I saw that announcement, by the way, on IntelliJ. Was for our Mongo API, or was that?
Yes,
for
so it's not for the SQL API. That's still coming. I'm gonna show you with the Mongo API. So first of all, I showed you with Redis here, but you can actually go in here to the resources. So let's go in, and you can actually see here we've got Cosmos DB. Look at that, Cosmos DB. So this is very new. And over here, I've got the Pet Clinic application. Now, you can actually go into the Pet Clinic application, and you can, on Cosmos DB, you can create a server. You can also go in here. You can create database, delete account, copy connection string. And this is pretty new. And you can actually see here, here's the end-to-end example here. But we haven't actually launched the ability to go edit the data. You can see here, here's the documents. And then if you click on each one of those documents, it's actually going to, sorry, no, that's the Pet Clinic SQL. Oh, sorry, I made the mistake. This is VS Code. And the IntelliJ one doesn't actually let you do that. So this is VS Code, actually lets you edit it there. And it also allows you to actually go in and do all of that. So let's go into IntelliJ. Let's open up IntelliJ here. And I want to show you the similar to tooling that you have with IntelliJ. Now, IntelliJ, love it or hate it, and if you and every developer is opinionated here, but IntelliJ is a full-fledged IDE that we partnered with JetBrains, and it allows you also to do advanced refactoring and also a database manipulation. So in
Can I ask you an opinion on which you prefer, I guess, or is that too sharp a question for you?
No, so VS Code was never created as a full-fledged IDE. It's actually a code editor. So they don't actually compete with the same in the same services. So I love IntelliJ as a full-fledged IDE, and I love Visual Studio Code as a little code editor. So here's the Cosmos DB. You can see here, we saw that we can edit in Visual Studio Code. Let's go back into Visual Studio Code. I can edit the pedaling examples there. I can actually go in, and I can even go medicine there, and if it has a good ID and I'm doing it with referential integrity, it'll actually let me edit it directly off here. But that's the SQL API. Let's go back into IntelliJ. So let's make that a little bit bigger. But if you see here, that's the pedaling example. It doesn't actually let you an IntelliJ, but it does also, you can see there, allow you to double click on here, and you can go through to the portal. But you can actually get a nice little view here. So you can right click on Cosmos DB, and you can go create. You can also view the Azure SDK. So look at this. So you can actually view the Azure SDK, and that's the reference book. So click on that, and then you can actually get, and there is the starter, the Spring Cloud starter that I mentioned there before, and you can go in there and see all of those documentations. Remember what I showed you also with Redis? Let's go into see if we can find that Redis one there. Redis. There's Redis then, and you can actually see how to add Redis there, and that's the resource manager or Redis Enterprise on how to do it for the cache. You can also go in there. Remember Key Vault. Let's go into Key Vault, and let's go. Did I spell Key Vault? There we go. Key Vault JCA certificates and everything. You can actually get all of that there, and you can just go add dependency into there. So that's the right click on there and view Azure SDK. And you can also go in and create your applications. But with Mongo, we've taken a little bit step further, and I've got a little application here that is the Quarkus superheroes. I know it's not Spring, but I've created a little application with the database. And over here, you can actually go in and edit it with Mongo. So if you click on here and we go open, let's go there. You can go open in database tools. And then open in database tools allows you to actually go in, and you can go in and edit all of that. And with live editing here, so you can actually go in there, similar to what Visual Studio Code did.
Yep.
And then when this comes with Mongo, I'm going to be able to actually go in and edit this. Let's go in here, and there's the fights with the Quarkus here. And I can go in and look at all of my objects here, and I can select those. It does take some time to refresh here, but I can go in and edit those and view that. So this is a new feature that we've got here, and it's a great opportunity to actually go in. Let's go in and just refresh that. And to go in and actually go and edit. So this is database tools, and you can go into there just by right-clicking there and open in database tools. There's my collection there. It's coming back, and then there's fights and fields. And I can go into fights and fields there, and I can go in and edit that, which is pretty great, which is a great opportunity for people to use IntelliJ, because IntelliJ owns about 65 to 70% of the IDE market here. And I can go in there and if I wanted to go in and even edit and delete a row.
Yeah, can I change index policies in here?
No, I don't think that you should live on air, but I can actually go in there and I can go delete row there. Yeah, Docker's already kind of giving us issue. Let's go back to Docker quickly here, and let's just see, is it actually now...
Give it a little attention, make sure Docker's still with you there.
Yeah, there's Docker there, and is the... let's see if our customer service now is working. So let's go back into localhost, and let's go into home. Of course, it's working now, and owners, and let's see if it actually is owners. It's not going to see it's bum. There we go. So there's George Franklin. Now, if you saw there, if I hit refresh, watch how quick it is. It's quick and nice and quick. But now I'm going to invalidate the cache. So I'm going to just go there. That's not the actual URL I wanted. Now, if you remember, that was like sub-millisecond. Now I'm going to invalidate the cache with clear cache. Now it's going to go back to the same page. Now I'm going to hit refresh. You see how long it's taking, because it's doing an end-to-end with the database. That's really
that's a call over the wire from Your home
Where's the cache?
in
The cache is
Johannesburg all the way to eastern U.S. and Virginia, basically that
now
region.
you can open the pipe bigger with Cosmos DB, but what I wanted to show you really was with the Redis cache. It's an in-memory cache, and it's a little bit quicker than actually going to Cosmos. And all of that was actually just activated just with that annotation, and it was created with the Terraform file there with that example. So I'm thinking my little Mac with StreamYard and everything is now behaving itself though, and I do have a bigger PC. So maybe next time I'll do that on the demo with the bigger PC though. But it's a great opportunity for you to go in and test all of these services. Like I said before, you can just go in here to Azure Samples, Azure Spring Boot Samples here. And this is under the Spring Picnic microservices. And you can go through all of that there. You start off with the Terraform. Just go Terraform init and Terraform apply, and it will go in and create it. And then you just do Docker compose. Which is exactly what I did there, and it will start it locally and get everything running though. And then obviously then you'll have your resources. You want to go in and afterwards delete your resources. If you see here, I've got my my Key Vault. Let's go into the Key Vault here. So let's see the three services here that I've got. So I've got my I should see there my Key Vault. My Redis cache. Let's go in. Where is that? And finally, yeah, there's my Cosmos DB. And the Cosmos DB also has some incredible monitoring and that. So we can actually go into Cosmos DB here, and we can see here that the insights, that Cosmos DB insights is just incredible. So we hit it a few times with owner. We can actually go in there, and now we can actually see the total requests for that in the last 4 hours. This blew me away. I know this is not new though, but you can actually go there and you can see there's owners. It's got 81 requests there, total request count, and this should actually be lower. If you can see there, owners is 81, but pets is 96. So we're hitting that cache quite a few times because the pets should actually be maybe even way well on par with the owners here. And you can play around with that cache around that there, and you can also go into the Redis cache and see how do you invalidate it with that though. And there's some great services that you can actually see here, request count through that. So I think that we are 50 minutes into that. So I wanted to show you a few other things with that. I've showed you the Cosmos DB introspection, the VS Code, one further thing. I want to show you some behind the scenes, and check this out. I'm going to stop Docker. It is a naughty bugger, but I'm going to stop Docker, and I'm going to show you another project, and I'm going to give you the link to that project. And I'm going to, let's go File, Open Recent, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to show a to-do application. But the reason I want to show this, because I'm going to show you how it does that injection, because I found this absolutely fascinating. So here's my, it's a little to-do application. It's got a REST service here that basically says just get to-dos, and it's got a repository that goes Cosmos repository, and then it's got a little model, which is a to-do item, similar to what we saw there. And I'm going to start this, but I'm going to start this with something called the Spring Boot dashboard, because I'm going to go and inspect my objects. So I want to see the injection happen in real time. And it's very optimistic here. So let's go in. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run the Spring to-do application. The problem with that is that I have to actually set my Cosmos DB database. And I know that this is going to fail because I haven't actually set my Cosmos DB database. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to go source scripts and / set environment variables. And then now I can actually do this. Now, there's three windows, apps, beans, and endpoint mappings. Now, no other language has this. Oh, let's go. Come on, behave. Let's just see here if we got here. And we want to make sure this actually happened before also. Let's go in here. Yeah, so it's still not. Let's go. And let's show you here. So let's go in and just make sure that we've got our correct resource mapping. And we want to go into scripts. I did set the environment variable recently. Let's go here. There's my Cosmos. Don't worry, I will delete it here.
Yeah,
So I'm going to go source again, source. And then I can always do this at another time. And then I want to go scripts and set env variables.sh. Okay. I don't think I did .sh right at the end, though. That's why. Because I actually had a backup file there. Also, always have a backup, Mark. Always have a backup. Let's see if this works now. Live demos, always very interesting. Let's see. Connect. There we go. Connect. Now, what you'll see here, it's got the apps that you can actually go and link this. I can open it in the browser. Let's see. It's a to-do list application here. So I can actually just go in here and I can see my to-do list application. It says wash my car because it just rained on it, buy milk, and I can delete these applications from it. This is the built-in browser. You can see there it's going to localhost. So let's close that, the simple browser. And I'm debugging right now. But more importantly, look at that. It's actually going in there and finding my objects for me, my to-do list controller and to-do repository. And I can go into my item repository here, and I can see there, I can go and inspect it. Now watch this. I'm going to go into here. Now I can actually see what's going on in the background with the injection. And I can see it uses a Cosmos template, which I wasn't even aware of. And then it uses a Cosmos config, and then an auto configure. And then I can go through all the way into that. Now I can actually see that it uses a property file, and it goes into the configuration property files and injects it there with the URI and the key. And that's the Spring-idiomatic feature that I mentioned to you around that and how it actually does that. So all you have to have is that YAML file or those settings, and it actually goes in to do that. And what I want to also show you here is that the REST file, remember that REST file here? Check this out, Mark. If you can tell me that other languages have that also, look at that. It actually puts the REST URL at the top there, and you can actually get it. And it does that by actually inspecting every object there with the Spring actuator. So I get that, and I can actually go there home, or I can get my to-do list, and I can click on that, and it'll tell me if I just click on that.
I don't know about languages having that, but there's actually a REST tool. I just saw this as an extension in VS Code that does something like that, and it allows you to do basically kind of unit testing on your API apps.
Let's go back, and I just want to show you the REST API. Where is that window? This is the problem with StreamYard, that it actually goes in and creates multiple Chrome tabs. Let's go back in there and let's click on, no, we want the lots of tabs there. Let's go back in there and click Spring To Do app there. There we go. And let's click that, and there we go. There's buy milk and wash car, and that is a great thing, but this is built into the actual Spring Boot dashboard. It comes with it, and it allows you to actually go in, look at your beans, and also see that your Cosmos DB database actually is being bound correctly, which is a great way to actually do that, though. So the tooling is really rich.
Yeah, I think it's great. I agree with you, and I love how kind of just complete it all is together there. So yeah, absolutely cool, Rory. I love this stuff.
Remember, you can also go into resources here. Now I've got my to-dos. Remember I showed you to you earlier here? So and on my to-dos is in Mongo? Yes. No, SQL. So I can actually go into Visual Studio Code. There's my to-dos there, and I can go in there. Remember the bar milk here? Let's go and see if we can change bar milk. So there's my SQL to-do item here, my documents. There's wash car, and I can go in and okay, it's not going to let me do it right there because it doesn't like the partition key. But I can actually do that. I remember there's a way to actually do that there. You can actually go in and edit that, or I can just go in and delete the document. Let's do this live on air. Okay, I deleted the document. Let's go back in and see there. Let's go hit refresh here. There we go. We deleted the live on air, which is nearly as fun as editing live on air. I think the partition, it's partitioned on Cosmos DB, so it doesn't like deleting. So let's go back into our little PowerPoint here. So first of all, I want to remind everyone that you can use Cosmos DB for free, no credit card required, and it gives you 30 days. Am I correct? 30 days and 4,000 RUs that you can actually
get. Is it 4,000? I thought it was a little more than that, but either way, I mean, it's a lot for doing dev and test. It's plenty for sure. So
and that cosmos.azure.com/try. Now that to-do demo that it did, this is a more advanced version of that. You can access all of that to-do demo in there. So if you want a basic demo, you can go aka.ms cosmosdb-spring for the to-do demo. And then the Spring Cloud samples the magnum opus. Make sure you run it on a little bit more memory so Docker Compose actually behaves itself. You can do aka.ms Spring Cloud Azure. And you can also QR code there. It goes to Spring Cloud Azure. So that's everything that I wanted to show you. I know it's a lot, and I know it was optimistic, but everything kind of worked out in the end. I even invalidated the Redis cache live on air.
No, this is great. And, hey, people can always go back and watch it again or watch it at half speed if if you go too fast and you want to see that again, right? So you can keep up or whatever with it. So this is great, Rory. Fantastic having you on the show. You showed a lot of great stuff. I'm just more and more impressed with Spring every time I see it. It's just the fit and finish for that is just amazing. And I can see why developers love it because it's just got a lot of goodies, I guess, there to make you productive. And also, I mean, just cool things like being able to do unit testing on your APIs right out of your bean. My gosh, how cool is that, right? So great stuff. Well, thanks for having me on this week, Rory. And thank you folks for joining us. This was episode 63. Feel free to check us out. We've got lots of oh, that's the wrong one. That's a repo with a bunch of stuff in it. Where is our past episodes? Right here. My banners got moved. Come check out past episodes. We've got Mark Heckler, his cohort on the team. You can go check out his episode, and then Kshagra, another episode on our Java and Spring SDKs. Lots of great stuff. I think it's one of our best SDKs, the Spring Data one, and I'm glad that folks like you and other folks in the Spring community like it. I hope we get lots more people that love and want to try it and use it. So yes, thank you so much for joining us this week, folks. Hey, come check out our user group. Every month we do a new meetup with a new guest. So come check us out on Meetup there, aka.ms/CosmosDB user group. Next week, I've got another cohort of mine from the Postgres team who is now part of Azure Cosmos DB. So I'll have Nick Laron on. He's going to talk about all the cool new features with distributed Postgres on Cosmos. So I hope you join us next week for that. Rory, thank you so much again for joining us. It was great having you. I know it's getting late there in Johannesburg, so get yourself some sleep. Have some. Is it night nurse? Do you guys have night nurse in Johannesburg, or is it something else? I know night nurse is like a UK medicine. It's like a NyQuil in the UK. I'm just wondering.
No, I think that's illegal in South Africa. Like, I'm not even going to talk. I'm not even going to mention that live on air. I don't know what that is, but no, we don't have that.
You don't have night nurse? Okay. It's like a licorice flavored cold remedy.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like something to actually give me a little bit of a no, we don't have that.
You don't have night nurse? Okay. Well, find your local equivalent, I guess, maybe, and then you can have a nice sleep. So, and wake up fresh and ready to go in the morning. So, all right, Rory, thank you so much. And thank you folks for joining us. We'll see you all next week.
Cheers, everyone.